Well, I bring you greetings again today in the name of Jesus. My name is Kinsami Emmanuel, and I'm a trained and certified chaplain from the College of Chaplains, the International Christian Chaplains Association. I don't know if you can see me, but I want to see if I can do some stretch exercises again with you today. It's a bit not yet too bright here, but from what I have experienced and from what I know, I found out that it's important to keep at doing whatever you are doing, because it's in consistency that the power lies. So let me get my glasses off, then let's try to do some of these exercises. You can imagine just between this, your shoulders, you keep hitting it. If you want to move, you hit it, okay? That has to do with your lungs. And then you come over here. You also do this. I have found that some of these things by the Asian bloc helps a lot. And then you come to your, between your elbow. It's also very important. You do that. It's very helpful also. And then you do this. It has to do with your heart. Okay? So do you believe in this mates? Well, you call it matehood. It's one thing for you to hear what people say. It's another thing for you to, practice it below your abdomen. Okay? It's important. Taking care of the internal organs. Okay? And then your stomach, you rub it. It helps digestion. I have practiced these things. That's why I came up with it. You rub just on your navel like that. Okay, for about a minute each of them. And then for those of you issue with your eyes, behind your head, you hit it. All of those mucus that gathers around the veins or arteries now of your eyes, you see them coming out. I practice them and I notice that they help, to some extent. And then you use your hand, you hit above the eyelid. Okay, you hit above the eyelid, below the eyelid, below the eye, the side. Do you understand? Now those are things that I do. And someone once, a doctor in Jute, was saying they can't understand why I'm still seeing. Now you're not the first that says that. Even 2 doctors in America said the same thing. How come I'm still seeing them? One of them is an old man. While he was checking me that day, I started, pressing the phone to, video what he was doing. And the old American doctor said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just videoing what you're doing." He said, "No, you're not supposed to see me." I said, "Well, I'm seeing you." And I pointed to the, his pointed nose. I touched the tip of it. And then he looked at me and said, "I don't understand you. What do you do for a living?" I said, "I'm a preacher." Then he said, "Your boss must be helping you." That was what that old man said. And he left the consulting room. He said, "I can't help you because I don't expect that you should see me." So that's another beautiful thing about confession of the word and taking your medications when necessary. But like I said yesterday, make sure that when doctors give you prescriptions after their diagnosis, make sure you ask them what the names of the drugs are if they don't write it, and then ask them any side effects, because sometimes we end up treating side effects even more than the illness or ailment itself. I have proved it in 2 or 3 occasions, including my own self. So these days, if any doctor gives you anything, ask them if there's any contrary side effect, because there are some of them that the drug on its own gives you more problems if you don't know the side effects, and you end up treating that, and at the end of the day, you may end up being admitted in the hospital thanks to greedy pharmaceutical companies or people who just want to make money without explaining things to you. You have every right to know what a doctor is giving to you. Is that okay? Very important. Ask questions so that you don't die before your time. You don't just take everything hook, sink, and liner. Do you understand that? Now, after all of this, we're not against you taking medication because it has helped many people, including preachers, including myself. But the point is that if you understand the way your body functions, you will hardly get into so much problem. And even when you understand your body, you are helping your doctor to know where to go exactly. Is that okay? Now, these are some of the small things you can do. But if you are over 60 like me, be careful not to do unnecessarily too vigorous exercises. Do them mildly. I'm doing it in my own compound here. Don't try to do what the young boys are doing in the rigorous way. No, just try and move the bodies. Make sure that the fluids in your body are moving well. Do you know one thing? When your muscles have problems, you are half dead. Do you hear me? If you allow your muscles to have problems, you are half dead. So avoid your muscles being turgid. I went for echo, and the one they call advanced ECG. I did the ECG. They demanded for another one, and they called it advanced ECG. They wanted to know what is happening in my heart. And when they finished all of that, they're talking about the left ventricle, right ventricle, aorta, and all of those, their pipes there. They were showing me and telling me what was going on. And then one of them said, I particularly asked the doctor, I said to him, what's happened to my left ventricle? And then he said, let's check. And when they checked, he said, it's not that it's enlarged, thickened, it's thick, so it needs to be flexible, I asked. And then they also went further to say, okay, well, there's a little part of the heart that they saw a little bit of space. I said, what does that mean? And then they checked again and said, oh, you're okay. It's just a dark part. Now, the professor himself now ended up saying, okay, you don't really need medication. Like I told you yesterday, but he prescribed some anyway. You don't really need medication. And the only thing is modified lifestyle is what you need. And I said, okay, thanks, Prof. What do I do? He now explained to me, he said, well, your heart is like your engine of a car. And you know what the car engine needs? For the car to be able to move, climb hills, and do other things, you need compression. And he said, your heart's compression is very high. But the smaller part of the heart, is divided into four. The smaller part of your heart is not really pumping with force. That's what they need to, work on. And then I said, you don't know my age. So thank God for the scriptures, that even those of you that believe in the scriptures, you talk about Moses at 120, his eyes not abating and all of that. So he said, that's the only thing, let them give me something to strengthen the heart and so on. But above all, personal lifestyle changes is going to help your heart. I've run around this place this morning. I've taken brisk walk. I'm saying this to those of you who are, senior citizens, in your 60s, even from your 50s. You don't need to sit down, and then have a sedentary life. Please try and be moving those bodies, men and women. Try, okay? You are retired, and you can just, in your compound, move. And even if your eyes are having issues, try as much as possible to do the exercises. One of the things I do is I open my eyes in, cold water in the mornings, and then also I do that before I go to bed to clean up the mucus that comes out. So if you've got eye problem, go see the doctor, but at the same time, learn to take care of yourself with some of these little things. As long as they are consistent, you'll live a healthy life. So let's do a little bit before I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now open the legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Ooh. All right. I think I don't want to go beyond my threshold. Now, threshold differs. What you consider too much may be the average for me, and what you consider too much for you may be the average for somebody else. So, know your threshold. When people say you are not resting, you do too work. It depends on your threshold. So if they say, hey, you're stressing yourself, don't be too quick to judge that guy. Ask the question first from the person, like the doctor asked me. Do you think you are stressing yourself? That we cannot overemphasize the fact that there is stress everywhere. But we only manage stress. We can't completely eliminate stress. Is that okay? May the Lord strengthen you. Don't forget what we learned today. The doctors give you any prescription. After the diagnosis, ask them what the names are. 2, any contrary side effects. And you don't need to bother much. You can go to Google, type the name of the drugs, and write side effects of the name of the drug. And then you'll be able to know. There was one I saw that says possible kidney damage. And I had to call the doctor. I said, what about this? So, be careful. Don't be a victim. Because the present pharmaceutical world, we all know, if they ever told you that COVID-19 was not going to kill the whole world as they planned, you know it was not a divine thing. We know where it came from. Where is COVID-19 today? So be careful swallowing things that may worsen your case. And then, of course, they prepare admission for you. And from there, they prepare your graveyard. God be with you. Medication is good. Medicine is good. I run a college of health, so I'm not running down medicine. But I let you know this. Be wise. Don't die before your time. These consistent exercises, and then be careful what you put into your mouth. Don't just eat anything. Avoid too much starch. Get away, run away from bread. All right? And deal with yourself when it comes to the issue of sugar. And of course, all these, condiments, Maggi, curry, and all this stuff, put them away from your food. Get natural things. Do you understand that? And then drink a lot of water. That's what I'm still feeling at. I'm trying to learn that more. A lot of us don't like drinking water. If you drink a lot of water, your muscles will function well. You hear me? Once in a while, beat your body, beat all of the body parts, beat your laps, okay? And then, of course, if you're married, you're not yet a widow, have good sex with your partner. It can also help you. It's an exercise. Do you understand that? Women, a woman at age 72 or so, was complaining that the husband, Baba, was still looking for her. And they went to the pastor. And the pastor said, Abraham still had it. Mama, please let Papa go ahead. That's an enlightened mood this morning. So in case your mama listening to me, and you're thinking Baba is overactive, Abraham was very elderly, and they were still playing. All right? It's a very good exercise, even though we don't like saying it. Oh, pastor, what I think? Is it food? Oh, for a man, it's food. It's a need. And so get that ready. It helps both yourself and the man. Headaches, pressure, tension. Good sex will help you. Enjoy your day. Let me not go into that before some people will begin to crucify me. Have a good day. I'll see you again in the next session, because I'm going to be bringing God's word very shortly. Shalom.